Today is Monday, March 4th, and welcome back if you're returning, or welcome for the first time to another week of vlogs. I am Heather. I am a knitter, and I am also a United Methodist pastor of two small member rural churches in kind of western mid-Michigan. And I live here in the parsonage, which is a home owned by one of my churches nearby one of them, with my two children, Abby and Phillip, and our dog, Flint. I am also back in school, going to seminary, getting my Master's of Divinity degree part-time, in addition to being a full-time pastor and a single mom. So I'm a little bit busy. So that's why I don't necessarily always get a ton of knitting done. And so what I like to do when I start off these vlogs is kind of go over where I'm at with my knitting, and then at the end of the week, then I show kind of what my progress has been. I'm going to start by just kind of telling you what I have been working on knitting wise, and it has not been a whole lot because I haven't had a whole lot of time. I did finish the Texture Time shawl, and I wove it all of the ends, like all 8 million of them. It took forever, but I got it done, and I'm glad that I did, and it looks really neat without those extra ends, and I don't have it by me, or I'd show you. But I do want to show you the socks that I am working on right now. These are the bundled up socks by Mina, Phillip, the Knitting Expat. And these are them. This is a really super fun pattern, and I'm really enjoying it. The yarn that I am using is from Legacy Fiber Arts, and it is the Great Knittish Skein Off, the December set of mini skeins. So these are all 5 different mini skeins, and that's what I'm knitting these socks out of, and I'm really enjoying it. I am just about to do the heel. It looks like it's shorter than it actually is. I was like, this is too short. I'm going to need to make this longer, and then I put it on and it fits fine. So I don't know, maybe I'm having like a spatial awareness thing happening. I don't really know. So that's where I am with my knitting. Not a whole lot. This is like all that I did last week, was weave in those ends and knit this. That's it. That just goes to show you how little time I've actually had to knit. I've been reading an insane amount because my classes I'm only taking 2, but they have so much reading. It's a little unreal. So that's kind of wearing me down a little bit. I did, however, on Saturday, though, go to a trunk show at my local yarn shop for a indie dyer that is here in Michigan. She's up in Traverse City, and I'm going to show you the card. It's called Why Not Fibers. This is her card. She was really nice and to talk to, so I enjoyed that. And I did come away. I picked up 1 skein of yarn. Trying not to buy a lot of yarn, but I picked up this beautiful skein. It's a very kind of dusky lavender. I really gravitate towards this color, and so I really liked this a lot. And I have a kind of a cowl thing in mind for this. So it's from Why Not Fibers. The yarn is 100% superwash merino. It's called Sole is the base, like sole, like the sole of a shoe or a foot, and the colorway is called Echo. So that is that, and you can, like I said, she's got a website, which is whynotfibers.com. So there's her information if you happen to like this. She does a lot of natural fibers and a lot of local fibers. She had a lot of alpaca that was there, but alpaca makes me itchy, so I can't really wear alpaca very much. But anyway, she was super nice. It was really cool to go to a trunk show. I think that's the first time I've been to a trunk show. So that was really exciting. So that's kind of it for my knitting stuff. This week is kind of low key. Actually, I've got, schoolwork to do, which is always super busy, but we don't have 8 million meetings. Abby's in between with diving, so she's not diving this week. Wednesday is Ash Wednesday, so I do have to do a church service Wednesday evening. But that is the only evening that we actually have to go anywhere. So we are going to relish this and enjoy it. So that's all I've got for right now. I'm going to sign off here, and I will talk to you all later. So one exciting thing did happen last week. and that was the arrival of our new couch that we ordered a few weeks ago. That came, and we are loving it. This is the couch. It is super comfy. It reclines. That is awesome. And I gotta show you this feature because I think this makes me stupidly excited. But these are the controls for the recliner, and it has a USB plug, which is kind of awesome. But I think it looks good in here. I'm really happy with it and how it fits with things. Flint now has his chair that he can totally claim as his own. I did have to move the coffee table out of the way because there was not enough room. But we're still kind of figuring out how the living room layout is going to be, but that is the new couch, and we really like it. And I tell you what, getting off it, because it's so comfy, oh, the struggle is real. All right, so it is Wednesday, March 6th, and it is Ash Wednesday, and I just wanted to pop on real quickly here and just say hello to everyone. So today is Ash Wednesday, which is an important church day. It marks the beginning of the season of Lent, which traditionally in the Christian church is a period of fasting and self-reflection. You may have heard people say things like, I am giving up chocolate for Lent, or coffee, or something along those lines. And that is one of the practices of Lent. I typically choose not to engage in that particular practice, simply because I feel like it's not as meaningful for me. So what I tend to do is I take on something for Lent. So I work on a new spiritual practice or something like that. That's what I'm going to try to do this year. If I'm completely honest with you and with myself, I'm a little overwhelmed by the prospect of adding anything else to an already busy schedule. So that makes me a little bit nervous. I'm going to try it. I'm going to kind of lean into God for a little bit of help there, because that's, I think, the only way I can pull it off. So now I am off to a little cafe where I'm going to try and get some work done, and be out in the community a little bit, because that is part of my job too. So I'm going to head off and do that, and I will talk to you guys all a little bit later. I almost forgot to share this with you guys. I ordered one of these really awesome pins from Gigi, who does Gigi Made It. She loves and is obsessed with orange. And I wanted to order one of these pins because in all of the conversation that has been going on Instagram and in the knitting community regarding people of color and their inclusion and the oppression that they have felt and the discrimination, I wanted to do something to support makers of color. So I purchased this pin. I know it's just a really small thing, but I want to do my part in trying to speak against racism and, being white and the white privilege that I have. I want to do what I can with that privilege so that others don't suffer because of it. So I encourage you to check out Gigi. She's awesome. She's so much fun. She loves orange, which I think is so bold and so fantastic. This is her card for her Etsy shop. So please, you should really check her out and see it. And I just have to figure out where to put this pin. This is my first enamel pin. I'm not normally an enamel pin person, but I really wanted to support her. So now where to put it. Hi guys, it's Thursday, February. No, it's not February anymore. It's March. Oh my gosh. It's Thursday, March 6th, and I'm actually having a pretty good day today. I had to take my car in for an oil change, and I'm not really sure what exactly happened, but it took a long time, like an hour and a half, and I'm like, why is it taking so long? Well, I guess something happened with the mechanics, and the manager didn't like the way they did my oil change and tire rotation, so it sounded like he redid the whole thing, and I got it all for free. So that was pretty awesome. I was pretty happy about that. So I got a free oil change and tire rotation today. So that was pretty cool. And then I came home because I was like, my day was chock full of appointments. And I had an appointment and that ended up being canceled, which was good because that allowed me to finish my sermon. So my sermon is done for Sunday. which feels really good and really liberating because since I've started classes, I have not had my sermon done before like Friday, and today's Thursday. And so it feels really good to have that done. I'm about to head over to the church for another one of my meetings, but I'm feeling pretty good today. Last night's service went really well. It was Ash Wednesday. People really liked it. I kind of felt like it was a little scatterbrained, but nobody else could tell. People really seemed to enjoy it. They enjoyed the message. They enjoyed the whole thing. So that was really good. And my sermon's done for Sunday. Score! And now I'm just going to head over to this meeting this afternoon. So I will talk to you guys later. And caked up the yarn that I got from the trunk show this weekend from Why Not Yarn. So I caked that up because I am thinking that I want to cast on this project that I've kind of had in mind and that I had in mind for this yarn in particular. And that is the Whakairo shawl by Francoise of heatheredknitz. This is what it is supposed to look like. I'm not a tassel fan, so I probably would not put the tassel on it, and I'm considering knitting it in the round instead of flat and doing the buttons, but I think it looks really beautiful, and I kind of want something that's a little bit more engaging than the socks that I'm working on. So this is going to be that. The socks, I literally just have to Kitchener the toe, and then this first sock is done. So I'm going to try to do that this afternoon. It is Friday today, and I usually wrap this up on Friday, but I think I might hold off until Saturday and maybe get some footage of Phillip's basketball game. And maybe I will have cast this on and we can see how that is going along. So that's what I have been up to on Friday. Hi guys, it's Saturday now, March 9th, and I just wanted to kind of wrap up this week's vlog by showing you some progress. I did just get home from Phillip's basketball tournament. Unfortunately, they lost their first game, and so they didn't get to advance in the tournament. That was kind of a rough game. They were not playing very well together as a team, so that was kind of sad. I didn't take any video because it really did not go well. So I'm home from that, and I've got a few minutes before I need to get back to doing some work. So I just wanted to take a minute and show you kind of my knitting progress and show you a couple of things that I actually got this week that I'm kind of excited about. So first of all, I did finish my first bundled up sock. So that is done. This is super cute, super fun pattern. I really recommend it. This is from Mina, Phillip, the Knitting Expat, and it was the December sock from last year's Cozy collection. And I believe you can buy the individual patterns now. And I'm using a mini skein set that I got from Legacy Fiber Arts, the Great Knittish Skein Off. And this was the December set from last year, and I think they are so cute and really fun pattern, different technique. Really enjoyed it. And I've cast on the second sock, but I've only gotten the cuff done so far. So, and I'm planning it so that my colors will be different. So I'll have a different color for the cuff and the heel, but then the toe will end up being a color that I used here. I think it'll be this color if I remember correctly. So this is the second sock that's going. They knit up really fast if I actually have the time to sit down and knit it. It goes really quickly, but that time is a struggle. So I showed you earlier that I caked up the yarn that I got from the trunk show from Why Not, and this is actually showing up really true to color right now. It is really a beautiful kind of dusky purple. I really like this color. I dyed my sweater almost exactly this color, so apparently this is my color, but this has a really beautiful sheen to it. Can you see that? And it's just merino nylon, but it's just really beautiful. It's got a really nice twist, as well. And so I decided to cast on the Whakairo. I'd have to look at it more closely. I don't have it right here. Cowl by heatheredknitz. And I'm not very far. This is as far as I've gotten because there's a story behind this. So usually I am a very tight knitter. So I went up a needle size. The pattern calls for US size 5s. I'm not sure what that is in millimeters off the top of my head. And so I went up to a 6 because usually that's what I need to do. So I started knitting it as a 6 and it was too loose. Like the pattern was starting to emerge. You can't really see the pattern emerging yet because I'm just not that far into it. But the pattern was starting to emerge and I could tell it was too loose. So I was like, okay, I think I need 5s. Well, the only 5s that I have are these Sunstruck needles from Knit Picks, and they are super dull. So the 6s I was using were Haya Sharps. So going from Haya Sharps to this was not working at all, and they're not very smooth either, so the yarn was getting caught up, and there are some stitches in here where having a sharper needle is really beneficial. So I was not enjoying this at all. So I decided, I knew my local yarn shop where I purchased this yarn had the Licca needles, the driftwood needles. So I did go today and I purchased a set of the Licca needles. These are they're sharper. Not as sharp as a Haya, but they are sharper than these, which are pretty blunt. So I'm going to give these a try. I hope that they work, and I like them because I really want to work on this cowl, but I don't want to wait for an order to arrive from Amazon because I'm impatient that way. So I'm going to give these a try. They feel very different from other wood needles. They are very lightweight. I pulled them out and played with them just a little bit, and then I put them back in the package. But so I'm going to give these a try, and I will keep you posted with how that goes. The other really exciting thing is this came in the mail. Now, I've been resisting buying yarn, and one of the things that I'm kind of doing is, especially with yarn, is avoiding like impulse purchases and purchasing yarn really intentionally. The one exception being when I saw that Molly of a Homespun House was doing a Lord of the Rings 3-month yarn and charm club. That one I had to jump on because I really enjoy Lord of the Rings. So I had to get on top of that. So I did. But I saw this color combination like several weeks ago, and it has been in my mind with the idea of knitting Stephen West's Pierre shawl. And I just put it off because I didn't want to just snap by it. Several weeks now have passed, and it was still really speaking to me, and I was still really drawn to it. And so I decided that I was going to go ahead and purchase it. And it is from Legacy Fiber Arts. And these are from their Romance collection. And I just think that these are going to be such a beautiful, classy looking shawl. I'm really excited to knit stuff with it. So the colorways are, is it on here? This one is Buttercream Frosting, Wedding Cake, Antique Lace, and this one I believe is Worn Leather. But I see that I think Sue mislabeled it because it says it's Buttercream Frosting, and I know that this is not Buttercream Frosting. I'm pretty certain it's called Worn Leather. So this is going to become a Pierre shawl. It's DK weight. It's really beautiful, and I'm really, really pleased with seeing those colors in person because they're super gorgeous and super awesome looking. And I just really think that's going to be a beautiful Pierre shawl. So that will probably get cast on after this cowl, which I don't think will take very long to knit up because it's just a cowl. It's not like a giant shawl or anything like that. It is, though, one that is not mindless. I do have to pay attention because it's a very intricate pattern. I showed it earlier on the podcast, or the vlog this week, so you will have already seen that and know what I'm talking about. So that's kind of where I'm at with my knitting. Let's see, next week is the first full week of Lent. I will be doing a Lenten small group. Abby is going to go back to diving at a club that is a little bit of a drive away, so that's going to be a little bit challenging. Next week is a super, super full week. for me. So it's probably good that I'm not going to be vlogging because there's not going to be a lot of interesting vlog content probably. So we are into Lent, which is the period right before Easter. I think I talked about this a little bit on Ash Wednesday, but it's a period where Christians traditionally spend it in as a time of self-reflection. Usually there's some fasting or giving something up that is meaningful to us, is kind of a sacrifice. And it's the 40 days leading up until Easter. So it's kind of, it's our holiest season. It's our holiest time of the year. And it's got a very different atmosphere and tone than Christmas does. So we're going into that, and I'm trying to work on some self-reflection myself, and adding that into the juggle with schoolwork and everything else is a little bit daunting, but so far so good. I need to focus on my own spirituality as well, and sometimes that gets lost in kind of taking care of other people's. So that's something you have to be very intentional about. But that's all that I've got for this week. I hope you enjoyed the content that I had. I know it wasn't a ton of stuff. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching and being a part of my week. I won't see you next week, but I'll see you the following week. And in the meantime, I hope that your life is full of joy and full of happiness. So peace to you all, and I will talk to you.